Welcome, everybody. Oh, we're already in the King's Corner. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome, everybody, to the Music City. We're at Nashville Superspeedway today in the Apex E-Series Showdown for some Nashville Superspeedway action in the trucks. And going to be a lot of fun. Glad that everybody's here. Hope y'all are having a good night. Welcome to Rebel Racing Network. I'm Eddie Smith, and we're getting ready for 100 laps here of draft, hard racing side by side. Going to be hard to pass. Going to be probably a wild show, as we're going to have a pretty nice little draft pack. If last week is any indication, we're going to have some cautions too. So should be a wild show tonight. Got about 21 drivers signed up for this race, and so far everybody's looking like they're pretty fast out there. We'll kind of go over practice real quick. Oh, if we can actually get it to show up. Here we go. And, yeah, so looking at the practice results, you can see the Chris's on top. Chris Carroll, Chris Mclean, Garrett Kinder, Chris Bedwell, Tracy Passons, Charles Stevens, Justin Miller, all laying down some really, really fast laps. And qualifying is over, and we're going to get ready to throw up the grid and see who's going to take home the Chuck Pegleg Pole Award. Let's see who it's going to be. As everything gets swapped over. And there we are, Chris Mclean with the Pegleg Pole Award. So congratulations, Chris Mclean, starting off good. Get out front, get that clean air. It's going to be really, really important. Let's go ahead and get into the Kinder Farm and Ranch starting grid. Chris Carroll on the outside of the front row. Inside row number 2 is Chris Bedwell. Starting 4th is Garrett Kinder. Tracy Passel starting 5th. Starting 6th, Aaron Adcock. Starting 7th, George Williams with a great qualifying effort. Starting 8th is Charles Stevens Jr. Starting 9th, Willie Evernham. Starting 10th, Ray Rogers. Starting 11th, Justin Miller. 12th, Dana Shepard. 13th, William Griffith. 14th, David Harden. 15th, Alan Smith. 16th, Chuck Phelps. 17th, Matt Rogers. 18th, Anthony McPherson. 19th, Todd Schott. Glad to have Todd back. Kyle Roberts starting in 20th. And Tony Edgerton bringing up the rear of the field in 21st. That's Kinder Farm and Ranch starting grid. And as they all start to roll out of pit road. Number 5 going to lead us down to the green flag. Kind of a messy race last week. Expect to see a little bit cleaner action tonight as we get on a little bit bigger track. A lot of room for racing. It's still sort of a one-groove track. You're going to be fighting for that one lane. The trucks get side by side. It's going to be really, really hard to pass. These trucks, low horsepower. Momentum is key, so anytime you get next to somebody, you're slowing both of you down. So if you want to make those passes, you got to make them fast, and you got to get out of there. So we'll see who is able to do that the best. Looks like about 35 to 45 laps on fuel, and they do have 4 sets of tires in the pits. So we'll see how that strategy plays out. It's been important all year long, so I don't expect that to be any different tonight, as Mclean leads us down to the green flag, and we are green here in Music City. Bedwell right behind the number 5 truck. Chris Carroll does not get a very good restart as they go down into turn 1 and 2. Bedwell going to slide up in front of Chris Carroll. Let's see what Carroll's going to do. It looks like he's going to let off the throttle, be smart there, and get single file and let Chris have that position so he doesn't open the door for somebody else. And so far, so good, as they are fanned out all over the place. Some guys already trying the outside line there. You see Charles Stevens Jr. in that 88 truck, and then right behind him, Ray Rogers. We've got to keep our eyes on him as he starts in 11th place. Expect to see him towards the front by the end of this thing. So, no, and as soon as I was about to say so far, so good, George Williams and Charles Stevens Jr. get into it, and you see big damage to that 88 machine up against the wall, and we are under our first caution on lap 2. I was about to brag on them, saying, man, we're doing good, and but that is not the case as we go back and try to see what happened between these two drivers. See Charles Stevens Jr. there on the right rear quarter, trying to make that outside line work. And George Williams really needs to use that whole track. And I don't know if George just didn't know if he was there or not, but comes up and they make contact. And caution comes out. It's actually a pretty crazy caution to see come out there. Didn't really look like anybody spun out. Let's go see if Kyle Roberts may have had some sort of issue. Let's go check with him. Is that all that was happening right in front of him? Oh yeah, you see Ray Rogers get hit from behind, and oh my goodness, Anthony McPherson gets tagged and right in front of Kyle Roberts. So probably a good thing the caution did come out. See Charles Stevens Jr. coming down pit lane, and a lot of drivers coming down pit road. All of those that I mentioned, basically George Williams, Kyle Roberts, Ray Rogers, and Anthony McPherson. Charles Stevens is going to have to use his fast repair most likely. We'll see what he decides to do. He may decide just to get some of that damage fixed and hang on to it. So far, yeah, it looks like he's just going to try to fix some damage. It's actually a dangerous thing to do if you got enough damage and it's required and you don't take that fast repair and you come down and there's 5-6 minutes of required repairs. You're stuck on pit road. It won't let you leave. So sort of a gamble that the 88 made here. But if it's not too bad, then get a little bit of damage fixed, save that fast repair. That way you have it towards the end of the race. Feels like George Williams pulling off now. And hopefully get this thing going. But yeah, just a this track, even though it's got multiple grooves, to keep that speed up, momentum is so important here. You have to keep the speed up or you're just going to be slow. And so you really can't take it easy. A lot of guys are always saying, well, I'm going to just back it off, take it easy, take my time. But here, keeping the speed up is so important that you can't just, ride. And because of how momentum is so important, you have to use the whole racetrack. Once you get back on the gas, because you got to get back on the gas as soon as possible, especially in turn 1 and 2. And you get on the gas, and that truck is sort of almost on rails coming off the corner, and it just pushes out to the wall, and if someone's on your outside, it is very, very difficult. So you either have to check up or slow up a little bit. So, and in that wreck, this looks like George Williams may have they just didn't know that Charles Stevens was going to be there. So really went around the world on that explanation, but it's all good. But we are lined back up, getting ready to go back green. 35 to 45 laps, depending on draft. As far as fuel, be interested to see if we do have a lot of cautions. Anybody willing to do a little clutching, cutting on and off, trying to save fuel, make it to that lap 50 mark? Be a tough gamble, but we'll see as we get to the Geico Restart zone. And Mclean is gone. Chris Bedwell gets a decent start on that high line. You're going to see that outside line struggle on restarts all night long. This time it's Bedwell on the outside and Chris Carroll on the inside as they go through 1 and 2. And Chris Carroll going to be able to clear that 95 off the corner. As right behind them, they've got some 2x2 action there with Garrett Kinder, Tracy Passing. You see, actually, Garrett Kinder gets out of the gas, lets Tracy go, get right back down to the bottom. You just see how important it is. You don't want to be side by side for too long. And he gets a nice run and goes underneath the 53. I got to be honest, I am not a fan of this combo. Racing it, watching it, I think it's going to put on a good show, but racing it is one of the most frustrating tracks just because of what I've been talking about. It's a one groove, it's a draft fest. If you go to make a pass, it's got to be purposeful, and you've got to make it stick and make that pass, or you're going to get past pretty quickly, kind of like the Cup car at Michigan. Unless you were able to make that slide job happen, you could end up losing 2 or 3 spots. But we watched this battle for second on back to 6th place, and you can see it's a tight battle. Everybody using the draft to their advantage. Chris Mclean in that clean air has a small gap there, but not sure how long that'll last. If we get a long green flag run, you will start to see a little bit of separation as the tires fall off. But Chris Mclean has set himself up in the best possible position, getting that clean air. That's going to be so important. So might see some guys do some strategy to try to get their truck up towards the front if we get some more cautions. Looks like this group of drivers starting to run back down the number 5 Ford, excuse me. Chris Carroll leading this little pack here, trying to encourage everybody to stay in line. That allows them to use that draft to catch up. The Truck Series draft is always important in any track that's over probably 1.5 miles. It's always going to be important just because of the momentum that you have to keep the speed up. Just not given a whole lot of time to get off the throttle. And see Chris Bedwell getting a little run through 1 and 2 here. You're going to look down to the inside. And he's going to take that position. Let's go on board with Chris Mclean and let's see what a good lap looks like. So this corner 1 and 2, the whole track, surprisingly flat. It looks like it's called a Superspeedway, but man, the embankment is just not there. And it's just so important to get on the brake, get down to the bottom, get on the gas as soon as possible. Keep those RPMs up. You don't want to let it bog down a little bit. You watch just how tough it is to get down into 1 and 2. You think, oh, just drop down there. No, you have to really get on the brake. Crank that brake by. So you see he's having to use a lot of wheel to get the truck down to the yellow line. And that's exactly what you have to do. It is such a tough thing to do to get around here and do it fast. But Chris Bedwell showing some speed early on. Has started to run him down after getting back around Chris Carroll. Just impressive to see Chris Bedwell. You know, I mention every week, but it's just it's really impressive. So I can't help but to talk about it. But Chris Bedwell started off the season just a little bit rough. We kind of wondered if maybe, you know, somebody else was driving the truck after last season, being in the Final Four, having such a great season, and we just didn't hear much from him for a while. But this last half of the season, right before the playoffs kick off, we've seen Bedwell go back to his normal self as he is. Had a lot of really good finishes, been contending for wins, has gotten wins. It's been impressive how he's been able to get back to what he was last season. As he tries to run down the 5. Last lap by, Bedwell a little bit faster, right as he about 2.5 tenths away. Definitely getting a little bit of draft help, but he's also contending with the lack of downforce on the front of that 95 as he gets closer and closer to that 5 machine. Downforce being taken away from him as he's not able to run a different line, so he's got to run right behind the 5. And you know, something to think about as the tires start to wear. Watch these guys that come off of turn 2 and especially turn 4, and watch how close they get to the wall. And could be some guys whooped by that. Go check this battle between the Bubble Bowl 96 of Matt Rogers, Toyota, and Alan Smith. Alan goes to the inside, going to do a little slide job. The 96 keeps the momentum going, but the number 3 Trigger Time Chevrolet pulls up in front of him. That's for 10th place. Alan Smith up 5 spots from where he started, man. He is on the move. Matt Rogers, too. He is up 6. So these drivers both putting in some work. Starting to see a good amount of separation as we get on into this run on lap 20 here of 100, so a fifth of the way. Go back just a little bit further. Got Chuck Pegleg Phelps leading the group of drivers. Got David Hart and Ray Rogers after being involved in that incident on lap 2. Ray Rogers having to work his way back up through the field. Of course, he's used to that. We've seen him all season long, start in the very back and drive his way back up through the field. So if anybody can do it, Ray Rogers can. I'm waiting on Ray Rogers to really show what he's got. He's sort of the type of guy that races clean, kind of quiet about how he does things. Will take a second place finish over being aggressive and trying to get a win. Don't really hear him getting into too many issues that he starts. So he stays really clean. But I want to see, man, as we get towards the playoffs, I want to see that aggression pick up from Ray Rogers and show these guys what he's got. Because he definitely is good enough to be up there racing and battling for the lead every week. So I'm hoping to see that intensity from him pick up. And if that happens, I'll tell you what, everybody's in trouble. As he's currently looking out at the 75 machine. Glad to have Chuck back this week. And 75 Marines Silverado. Go back up front as we're watching Aaron Adcock pass Chris Carroll for 5th place. Chris Carroll falling back a little bit. A little surprising to see. We know how fast he's been all season long, but might be doing a little bit of fuel strategy, see if he can make it to lap 50. From what I've heard, it may not be possible, but you just never know. We'll actually go on board. See if we hear any kind of fuel saving going on. Definitely no fuel saving out of the 97, so it seems like he might be just struggling a little bit here on this first run. These drivers right here, these Poleman drivers, not struggling. You've got Chris Mclean leading the race. You got Chris Bedwell, and then you've got Garrett Kinder, Tracy Pass, and Aaron Adcock, all Poleman running 3, 4, and 5. Everybody up front's pretty much running the same lap times. As I go all the way back to 9th place, everybody ran within a half a tenth of each other, all in the 30.4s. So Nobody really setting the world on fire. Chris Mclean every few laps just a tad bit faster than everybody with that clean air. Go back and check this battle. David Harden starting to fall back just a little bit. We've seen him getting past just a few laps ago, and now he's about to lose 2 spots here as Tony Epstein and George Williams both get by him. It's a battle for 16th, 17th, and 18th. You can look back to William Griffith in that Pepto-Bismol 12 Chevrolet. We'll go on a little bit further. Charles Stevens Jr. with that damage, and Todd Schott, who we haven't had in a while, Ripcord chassis dirt affliction double alt Ford F-150. Glad to have him back in the race, as he has been out a few weeks. Truck doesn't seem to be handling like he likes it. Trying to, every time you take a few weeks off, a month or 2 off, and you come back, it does feel a little foreign. Takes a little bit of time to get reacclimated and get back in the groove. So he's just hanging out back there, trying to log some laps. And if I know Todd, he'll be up there trying to move up through the field before this thing's over with. But got to be quick. Ain't but 100 laps. These laps are clicking off quick, 31-second laps. And this thing will be over before you know it, as long as we stay green. We watched William Griffith get a run here on the 34 machine gun. Look to the inside, see if he can complete this pass. Oh, Todd Schott going to make it maybe 3 wide. He does. A little 3 wide action back here as it sorts itself out down into the corner. Man, look at Todd. He is getting a huge run on the inside of the 12. And they come off the corner. Go back up front, check in our leader. Chris Mclean led every lap so far. Benefits of starting on the pole at pole position. So important. If you plan on winning these races, you got to start. You got to start near the front. You don't get a whole lot of chances to, especially in this series. Last week probably a bad example, but this series has been known to have a lot of green flag racing, and so because of that, starting up front, man, especially in the trucks with aero being so important, you've got to start near the front if you're going to have a chance. And so being able to get that peg leg pole award, that can mean all the difference in difference between winning or losing. So getting that clean air makes it so difficult to see. Chris Bedwell has been flirting around this 3 to 4/10 of a second gap. He gets the draft down the straightaways, which help him carry a little bit more speed. But however, when he goes down in the corner, like I was saying earlier, you see how close he's getting to that wall. Has to scrub off a little bit of speed. But as he goes down in the corner, he loses the nose because the 5 is right in front of him. And it makes it so difficult. So you basically lose all that you gained as you go down in the corners. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about as we go on board with it. See, wants to get on the gas a little bit sooner. 3 and 4 is actually not a bad turn, but you'll see it pronounced here in 1 and 2 as he's having a hard time to get it down to the bottom. Just fighting that truck, doing the best he can to get down to the bottom, get back on the gas. But he's definitely not overdriving. He's taking what that truck is giving him. You see he's not overturning that steering wheel about 45 degrees. That's the best way to save that right front. He's doing exactly that, using the throttle, using the brakes. It's a funny thing, but a lot of times you don't use the steering wheel to do a lot of the turning. You try to use your brake to help turn and use the gas to keep that radius through the corner and off the corner. He's doing a great job of not overturning that steering wheel. we'll see if we go on board. Be watching if we go on board with anybody else and see how much they're turning, and you'll see the difference in tire wear. Going back here, we got Dana Shepard, Alan Smith, Kyle Roberts. And this is from 9th all the way back to 13th. Kevin Kinder in chat asks, if you're running P2, how far back do you need to be to have clean air also? To really get the downforce, it seems to right around the 4 to 5 tenths you start to lose it as you get closer than that. It seems about 3/10 mark is where you really start to feel it. So right up into that point, you've got enough clean air. There's still a wake there, but you do have the draft to help out. But as you get closer, it just gets harder and harder. But yeah, about half a second, you still have the downforce that you need. That's why you can see Chris Bedwell, who may be a little bit faster, than Chris Mclean, but you see he just has it's almost like there's a bubble right there between these drivers. And Bedwell is having to hope that Mclean has to get out of the gas, gets a little tight, not able to get down to the bottom and try to bust through that bubble. But it's just so difficult if Mclean doesn't make any mistakes. Like I said, I think Bedwell may be a little bit faster, but he has to overcome that issue. And this track-car combo makes it really, really tough. It compounds that type of deal. So go back to this battle. Dana Shepard losing a spot to Alan Smith. God, scared the mess out of me. I didn't know what was going on, but it looks like number 3 truck coming down pit road. It's time to make pit stops here on lap 41 of 100. So looks like it's going to be a 2-stopper. We got 4 sets of tires, 1 that you started on, 3 extra. So they'll have an extra set after it's all said and done. But see guys already making their pit stops. Doing a good job. I mean, Alan Smith on his way forward, cracking the top 10. Going to go down, get 4 tires, come out with some speed, and try to make up a little ground, do a little undercut. What he doesn't need is a caution. So really, really hoping that it can stay green and cycle around. If you're the first one in and it cycles all the way around, you usually can make up some spots. So 3 truck, David Harden, Matt Rogers, and Anthony McPherson looking to take advantage of that. As our leader's still on the track, but here comes the rest of the lead lap trucks. Is Garrett Kinder hard on the brakes, see the smoke as he locks up the front tires. Hopefully everybody able to stay under the pit road speed limit. But leader's already heading down pit road, and I bet you everybody up front are going to be heading down that way really, really fast. You do not want to be out there on old tires with these guys on brand new ones. Oh, you see the 13 have to back up a little bit as he slides through his pit stop. That's not going to be good. That's going to cost him at least half a second. But able to maintain that position, it looks like. Going to try to keep up with that 5 truck. As unless Bedwell comes down pit road sometime soon, that 5 truck going to go cycle around to your leader. But I expect to see Bedwell come down really, really soon, if not this lap. Steve McDonald said, how we doing tonight, Eddie, and what have I missed? Well, you missed a wreck on lap 2. Got some damaged trucks already. George Williams, Charles Stevens Jr. involved. And then since then, it's been great green flag racing, tough racing, hard to pass. But so far, been a lot of movement, a lot of passes. Watch Bedwell work his way up to the 5 right before pit stops. And we are currently in our pit stop cycle. We have about 7 drivers who have not pitted. Bedwell being one of them. Chris Carroll running in second. We saw start second, drop back quite a few spots. Interested to see if they can make it to lap 50, man. Maybe a little bit of pit strategy going on. And if you can make it a one-stop race, it really doesn't matter. It takes so much time to get on and off pit road that if you can do it on one stop, that's going to be faster. And you see the tire difference there as the 5 truck goes around Chris Carroll. But Chris Bedwell gives up the lead, comes down pit road. So Bedwell not able to make it to lap 50. We'll keep an eye on Chris Carroll or anybody else that can make it to lap 50. It'll be interesting to see if they can do it on one stop. As 95 goes down pit road, that gives the lead back to Chris Carroll. Last time by, Garrett Kinder ran a 30.42, and all the guys on the track are in the 32. So you see the difference in new tires and old tires. We're talking almost 2 seconds worth out there. So Willie Evernham, Charles Stevens Jr. coming down to make their pit stop. So those guys could not make it. So right now, the only 2 drivers yet to pit is Chris Carroll and George Williams. As the leader crosses the line for 49, be interested to see if this, pit strategy materializes. We did have a caution on lap 2, so they had a few caution laps. So, if the 97 is going to do a pit strategy type game here, without a caution on that last half, he is really, really going to have to save to make up for the fact that we had a caution early. He was able to save a little bit more gas. So if we go green to the end, it's going to be interesting to see if he can make that work. Probably going to have to spend most of the rest of the race just saving gas. Chris Carroll still on track. Chris Mclean, Garrett Kinder, Tracy Pass, Aaron Adcock, Chris Bedwell have all unlapped themselves. So if caution comes out, they are good. They will not have to take a wave round or anything like that. Chris Bedwell, of course, staying out longer than anybody else has put him behind the 8-ball. He's going to have to make up that ground on track. And I talked about it already. Clean air, so important. Giving up track position like that makes me a little bit nervous. You might be able to run them down, but can you pass them? Right now, he is 6 seconds behind Chris Mclean with that tire difference. But as we come to take lap 51, Chris Carroll does give up the lead and comes down pit road. It will drop him down the running order, but like I said, if he can do 49 laps, which I think he might be able to make it a one-stop race, that could work out for him. Trying to save a little bit of fuel, it's going to be tough for him to go out there and make up the extra time on these new tires. You may be able to run for a couple laps at full speed, but he's immediately going to have to drop out and start saving fuel to make sure he can make it to the end. If we have a green-white checker or even a couple, that could be bad news. So exciting when somebody else tries a strategy like this. I cannot wait to see how it plays out. Always makes it super interesting. That will cycle the lead back to Chris Mclean, who has a 1.5 second lead over Garrett Kinder. Garrett Kinder, after sliding through his pit box, able to maintain that position in front of Tracy Passons. And we'll take a moment while we're kind of in a lull here as we get ready to go through the field. As we got a little battle going on between teammates, Aaron Adcock, Passage, Tracy Passage, but definitely want to shout out our league sponsor, Apex Sim Racing Gear. As always, think about them whenever you get ready to add on to that cockpit. You want to get you a button box, something to give you, some buttons to press, a knob to turn. If you want to, if you got gas logs or somewhere, hey, what cooler than get an Apex Sim Racing switch to turn your gas logs on. So all kinds of different uses, but for your sim racing equipment, go check them out. They're good quality gear. It's not cheap junk like you can get some places. It's good quality made stuff. And Oh, Jimmy's a good guy, so definitely check him out, apexsimracing.com. Got some awards we have to give out. Of course, at the end of the race, we got the post-race award, Hard Charger, Jammed Up award, the Hardland award. And then we also have the Paint of the Night that we'll have to give out at some point. But Wreckage Rewind, Eric Burkhalter, Recycling Demolition. I want to thank all of our sponsors for all they do. Let's go through the field. Let's talk about drivers, where they've been, where they're going. Like Forrest Gump. Chris Mclean currently leading this one by only 3/10, as Garrett Kinder has started to cut into that lead quite a bit. So don't know if McLean had to kind of check up a little bit. But Garrett Kinder here has moved into position to maybe take this lead, as we watch both these drivers about 1.6 seconds ahead of Aaron Adcock, who has started in the 6th position up to 3rd. Had a nice start to this race, looking to put himself in position to get a win. Right behind him, Tracy Passons, also been up front all night long. Chris Bedwell, we saw him up there in the lead on this cycle. He is definitely made up some time, but not the amount of time he was probably hoping for. So I don't know if he's trying to save a little bit of fuel or whatnot, but currently about 7 seconds back from Chris McLean, so actually losing time for the leader. So he may be, let's go on board and see if he's saving a little bit of gas here. And that's exactly what he's doing. So not to give away any secrets, but it looks like Chris Bedwell going to try to make it. He pitted on coming to lap 47, so he's going to try to make it about 53 laps on fuel. Man, I can't wait. I actually do like broadcasting fuel mileage races. So that's why he's not running them down on those new tires, as he is saving a little bit of fuel. Let's go back to 5th place, Justin Miller, as he's having a fantastic run. Started outside the top 10, but has worked his way into the 6th place. So already doing a great job by him. Right behind him, Ray Rogers, able to rebound after that lap 2 wreck, and has worked himself up to 7th place. He needs a caution to get back in this thing, I believe, but we'll see how that plays out. Kyle Roberts, haven't talked about him much tonight, but he is looking to win his own award right now. He is the Kyle Roberts Handmade Leather Hard Charger at the moment, up 12 spots, man. Started 20th, having a fantastic run. He's trying to hold off Chris Carroll. Not sure he's going to be able to, but as he goes up the track, Chris Carroll going to go down to the inside, and that is for 8th position. Back behind them is Chuck Pegleg Phelps in that 10th place. He's got it. Alan Smith right behind him wants it. They both pitted about the same time. So Chuck and Alan both up 6 positions. Ooh, Alan Smith gets way out of the groove there. That was a scary moment. He has to get up out of the gas, and he's going to lose a lot of time for that. But better to save your truck than knock down the wall trying to stay in it. Right behind them, Dana Shepard in the 43. Good-looking truck. Do like that. I'll tell you what, that's going to win the Paint of the Night. I do like the way that truck, he runs it every week, but tonight it's the one that caught my eye the most. That 43 is going to be the 1-inch Designs Paint of the Night. So congratulations, Dana Shepard, as he currently runs in the 12th position. Matt Rogers in the Boba Bowl 96 Toyota. He is in 13th. Anthony McPherson, we saw him caught up in that first wreck in that 28 American Legion Ford F-150. He is made up 4 spots from where he started, so that first wreck not getting him down. As we go up front, we do have a pass for the lead, and it looks like Garrett Kinder able to take that top spot. See if Chris McLean tries to make a move. He does not, so move the 13 up into the lead. And Aaron Adcock slowly creeping up into this group as they get ready to get in some lap traffic. That's going to make it a lot more interesting. Let's get through the field, and then we'll get back to the racing. Willie Evernham started in 11th place, dropped back a little bit. My man's getting all kinds of hip replaced and all this kind of stuff, but still glad to have him out here struggling a little bit with this 91 machine. Charles Stevens Jr. in the 88, we saw him involved in that wreck. Looks like he has either fixed his damage or gotten his fast repair. Looks like he did go and get that fast repair. So he is running full speed now. Gonna need a little help to get back up to the front. Tony Edgerton right behind him in the 77. George Williams in the 40, running in 18th. William Griffith, him and Todd Schott have been going at it all races. They are trying to stay on the lead lap. Leaders coming right behind them. They're going to battle side by side. The leaders love to see that, I can tell you. And then David Harden has fallen all the way back to 21st, just struggling with that 34 machine. It looks like they missed the setup just a tad bit. Let's go back up front as we watch the 13. Big Frig, Kinder Farm and Wrench. Ford F-150 lead this one. There may be all kinds of games being played. I like, you know, I don't know. I want to say I hate fuel strategy races, but I think, especially watching them, man, it's interesting because there's so many games being played. We've already seen Chris Carroll, Bedwell, all those guys showing that they're saving. Look, the 5 machine going down to the inside, going to try to take advantage of this lap car. Maybe use the 12 as a pick. And does. He takes the lead back over. Griff going to maybe try to get out of the way. Not really sure where to go as trucks are side by side. But that does give the lead back to Chris Mclean. But yeah, see all kinds of games being played. Don't know who is saving gas, who's drafting off of who. You know, you go and pass somebody and you go, oh, wow, that was kind of easy. You don't realize that they're trying to get behind you, you know, and down the straightaway, lift off the throttle, save a little bit of gas. Let you run yours out. So you never know what's going on behind the scenes of these races. You know, we saw guys clutching it, letting it roll, trying to make it to the end. These drivers, doesn't seem like they've been saving any fuel. They pitted pretty early. So I think these guys right here committed to the 2-stop race. So we'll see how it plays out. It's going to be close. The difference of new tires, a lot of times that one stop is the way to go. But, you know, if you can be efficient on new tires, 2 stops may be the answer, especially if 2.5 seconds is the difference between new tires and old tires. But we got a nice little 3-way battle between these Po-Man Motorsports drivers. Po-Man 1, 2, 3. We'll just see how those Po-Man engines, how they are on fuel mileage. As we go on board with the 17 of Aaron Adcock. And we check into Aaron, see what he looks like as he's trying to keep up with the 13. It looks like he's doing a good job of it. Like he's trying to put his chin on the steering wheel a little bit. Let's see who we all got. We got all on camera tonight. We got Chuck Phelps, Charles Stevens Jr., Aaron Adcock, Chris McLean, Kyle Roberts. A lot of Po-Man up in the webcam screen. As they put Todd Schott a lap down, and see the 12, William Griffith, get into the wall. Got a little bit of right side damage. You don't want to do that. These trucks do not like it when you do that. But we stay green, and it looks like, oh man, got a little battle here for second. Is Aaron Adcock trying to make the move on the 13? Todd Schott trying to stay right with. Oh my goodness, is Chris McLean coming down pit road right in front of the leaders. And my goodness, I about ripped up some seat there. Good grief. But pit stops happening for the two stoppers. This is where we're going to see how it's all going to play out and who's going to try to make it to the end. Chris McLean comes down pit road, gives up the lead. Tracy Passons comes as well. A little bit weird to see these drivers kind of splitting the strategies. Ray Rogers down pit road, William Griffith, Chuck Phelps, and Matt Rogers all down pit road. And then here comes the rest of them is Aaron Adcock, Garrett Kinder come down pit road right after them. So what these drivers have to do is they've got to get off of pit road, be clean, no penalties, and hammer down and try to, don't spend a lot of time battling, but try to make up as much time as you possibly can, because Chris Carroll is now your leader. Chris Bedwell about 1.3 seconds back from the 97 machine. Now, the situation here is you see Chris McLean coming out right behind Chris Carroll. So what Chris McLean is going to have to do, in 24 laps, he's going to have to pass, assuming there's no caution. He's going to have to pass the 97, which is what he's doing right here. And he has to go all the way around and run this 97 back down. So he has got 24 laps to get that done. That's the situation, because Chris Carroll pitted on lap 51, and assuming he has saved enough fuel, he will be able to make it to the end. Now, Chris Bedwell, we saw him clutching it, cutting the truck off. He pitted on lap 46, so we don't know if he can make it that many laps. That's 5 more than what Chris Carroll is going to have to save. So, going to have to see how it plays out. But I feel pretty good about Chris Carroll being able to make it. It's just depending on how much he's going to have to save and how much time he's going to give up doing it, and whether or not Chris McLean and Garrett Kinder here, they can run him back down. But we'll follow the action the best we can. I'm actually going to pull up the track map here as we'll go ahead and cut the logo off for just a minute. You'll see the 5 truck, and you'll look for the number 97 and the 95. You'll see them on the track map, and keep an eye on those trucks, as that's going to be the race, assuming we go green all the way. So far, they've got about a straightaway on them, but they're going to have to pick up the pace if they're going to get back to them. Now, you know how much they're about a second and a half slower right now. A second and a half for 20 laps. That's about what they need to do. They need to maintain that, and they should catch him, but it's going to be close. And if they get up here and get to battling, that's where it's going to be real tough. You see McLean and Kinder getting side by side. That's about the worst thing that can happen for these two, is they don't need to be battling. They need to be getting on down. If they are using, they're wasting speed here, battling side by side, as they have got to run down the 97 and 95. We'll actually see last lap, Garrett Kinder, Chris McLean ran a 30.3 and a 30.5. We'll see after battling what their lap times were. Yeah, 30.5 and a 30.6, so they lost a few tenths by battling side by side there. They're currently 24 seconds back. They are definitely making up a lot of time, second and a half a lap. And like I said, that will be enough to do it. As like I said, keep watching that track map up there on the top right of your screen. As you see the 97, that is your leader. And we've got the green icon around the 5, but Garrett Kinder here in the 13 is the first driver on new tires. You see he's getting hung up behind these two. Man, I'm excited to see how this is going to play out. Aaron Adcock joining the battle here. If they can't make it back up to the front, this is a battle for third, you know. So, man, Garrett Kinder would really like for these guys to settle this. And he's going to try to make some sort of move here and get around them as he's got to go. He's going to look 3 wide. Dana going to close the gap, kind of boxing him in. Able to get that 13 to stick around Anthony McPherson on the outside. Oh, disappears a little bit. 21.4 seconds is the gap between Garrett Kinder and Chris Carroll. So still gaining a lot of time. But is it going to be enough? 16 laps to go for the 97. Let's go on board and see how much he's having to save, or if he is able to. Yeah, you see him. He's shutting the whole truck off, letting it roll down to the bottom, then cutting it back on, rolling back on the throttle. So he definitely doesn't feel comfortable. The gap now 19.6 seconds. Last time by, Garrett Kinder ran a 30.76, and Chris Carroll ran a 31.9, so a second faster. That is not enough, man. It's not enough to catch him. It'll get close. I think Garrett Kinder's got enough time to get second, but Chris Carroll, if he's able to make it and maintain what he's doing, I don't think that's enough time for Garrett Kinder to get back up there. But we'll see how it all plays out here at Nashville Superspeedway. This Mclean falling back to 6th place. Maybe thinking about fuel a little bit. I don't know. I don't know why he'd be thinking about fuel. May have gotten into the wall or something. I don't know. But he is falling back to 6th place. Garrett Kinder's kind of stepped away from this group. He is about 1.6 seconds ahead of Aaron Adcock. As the gap between Chris Carroll and Garrett Kinder is now 16.3 seconds, but only 12 laps to go, man. You see that 97, he is currently entering in turn 3. Garrett Kinder is entering in turn 1 and 2. So Garrett still has a lot to make up. And the tires are starting to fall off on that 13, and it's starting to equalize a little bit. So he's not gaining as much as he was, about a second a lap now. It's going to be close. It just depends on what Chris Carroll's going to have to do to make sure he makes it to the end. And if he's got enough that he can kind of start to hammer down. But I think Garrett Kinder's going to catch him. Or he's going to get within about 4 seconds, it looks like, unless something changes. Of course, a caution changed everything. But Ratchet Miller, as far as I know, he hadn't been active in chat. So I don't think Ratchet's here. So I don't think that we have to worry about a caution with only 10 laps to go. And we talked about that 97 dropping back. Thought maybe he's struggling a little bit, but you know, I don't know what part of this season I would think that he would be struggling, but definitely had a plan to make the fuel last a long time. And you see, even though those guys have fresher tires, the amount of time it takes to get on and off pit road is just massive, and it can be really, really tough to overcome. As the 26 Justin Miller Gonna get back on the lead lap. At this point, the question is, can Chris Carroll make it to the end of the race? I believe that he can, but that is the question because Garrett Kinder has stalled his run a little bit. He's now 12.6 seconds. He's still making up some time, but it is nowhere near what it was. And Chris Bedwell saving fuel is the same as Chris Carroll. He is 9.4 seconds back from the lead. So Chris Carroll in control of this race as long as he can make it to the end. And here is your first to third as we keep tabs on the lap times between Carroll and Kinder and their gaps to each other. As we have 6 laps to go. And you see it was over a second. Now it's 8/10, 7/10, 9/10, 8/10, 7/10. Just kind of the gap or the amount of time he's making up every lap is just little by little. And he is in a lot of traffic, Garrett Kinder is. As Garrett Kinder has been able to go around the 95 Chris Bedwell, who is in hardcore fuel saving mode. I think he's in trouble as he's going to probably lose 4th, 5th, and probably maybe 6th. But Garrett Kinder 10 seconds off the lead. And, man, there's a lot of traffic in front of that 13. Gap is 9 seconds now, and Garrett Kinder having to fight this lap traffic. They always seem to get side by side whenever you get to them. There's nowhere to go. You're going to have to make it 3 wide here. You got to. You don't have a choice. You're going to go down there, and Dana Shepherd, for some reason, going to block the leader. It's probably not a good idea. And now he's going to battle back on the outside. But 3 laps to go for Chris Carroll. Got an 8.6 second advantage. Now we're 3 wide again as Aaron Adcock going to go. Oh, my goodness. And Dana Shepherd gets into Willie Evernham as Willie was trying to get up out of the way. And Dana Shepherd giving the bumper to the 91. Two laps to go here for Chris Carroll. Can he make it to the end? Did he save enough fuel? He goes down into 3 and 4. Doing a one-stop strategy. And a white flag is out. The APS Absolute Product Solution icing the competition. Final lap. Down through 1 and 2. He's got 7 seconds to second place. Garrett Kinder. If he's got any kind of fuel, I would be just letting it coast. Goes down at 3 and 4. Still has speed. At this point, doesn't even matter. He can clutch it and coast all the way to the victory. As checker flag is out, Chris Carroll gonna pull one on him and win in Nashville at the Music City Apex Sim Racing 125 with a fantastic pit strategy, and wins by 7.27 seconds. Just a fantastic job from Chris. Gotta love it when someone makes the right call and pulls off the pit strategy like that. That's awesome. So your winner, Chris Carroll, takes home the victory. And no surprise, we've seen a bunch of those from him this season. But great finishes from Garrett Kinder and Aaron Adcock as they finish second and third. And Tracy Passons comes home in fourth. Chris Mclean, not really sure unless I think he had some damage getting into the wall a little bit. He comes home in fifth. Ray Rogers recovers to sixth place. Justin Miller in that 26 finishes in seventh. Kyle Roberts in eighth. Alan Smith, another top 10 for him, finishes ninth in the Trigger Time number 3 machine. Charles Stevens recovers for 10th. Chris Bedwell looks like he had to pit and ran out of fuel, and so he finishes 11th. Dana Shepard finishes 12th. Willie Evernham 13th. Chuck Pegleg Phelps 14th. George Williams 15th. Anthony McPherson 16th. We see the 96 of Matt Rogers going through the air. He finishes 17th. Tody Edgerton finishes 18th. William Griffith 19th. Todd Schott 20th. And David Harden is in 21st. Let's go ahead and talk to some drivers and let's see what they thought about the race. Let's go ahead and get Aaron Adcock, boss man, in here. Aaron, what's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. I watched a fantastic race. I'm not a huge fan of Nashville Superspeedway, but this had a lot of drama going on, especially towards the end. Po-Man electing to do a two-stopper and was able to come home in third place, man. With a pretty great run. You look racy out there. How'd you feel tonight?
I felt pretty good. I drove home from Chattanooga with about 20 minutes to get in the session, and I didn't. I wasn't able to do much practice. I practiced a little bit during the week. I didn't really think I was going to make this race tonight, and everything worked out with work, and I was able to get home in time. But yeah, it was a. I didn't want to do the strategy of. I didn't want to do the strategy of one stop because it never works out in my favor that way. And I was just going to drive it until I couldn't anymore, and it just worked out that I was able to have a good solid finish. And I don't. It's hard to beat a man that can beat you on the track with speed, and then he can beat you with fuel mileage. It's tough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a pretty good strategy. I mean, y'all dealt a lot with lap traffic there at the end. Was that pretty frustrating trying knowing that you didn't have much time and you needed to go as fast as possible, and just kind of y'all got the bad luck of being on the track and where you were and just happened to have to deal with a lot of lap traffic there.
That's right. Yeah, if that's what me and Kendra was talking about. If we could have cleared the 28, or if I could have cleared him a little faster, I think me and him would have had a even closer finish at the start finish line. But yeah, it's like I said, it's hard to beat a guy that's fast on the track and he can beat the fuel tank in a little bit more and get a little extra fuel.
That's right. Well, Po-Man looked pretty strong tonight. Seemed like y'all were ready to go, even with just a very little amount of practice. Maybe that's something to think about going forward. It just come in hot and let her rip. So, but man, a good third place finish, fantastic race, very interesting for sure. And as always, man, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
Yeah, Apex Sim Racing, all the guys at Poman Motorsports, all the team, they work hard each week. We put in the time and we work well together, and it shows on the track. And all the league sponsors, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Kyle Roberts, um, Trigger Time, Five Kings Motorsports, Chuck Pegleg Felts, APS Ice, and Burkhalter Recycling and Demolition. Without them, we couldn't do what we do, and the guys that are in the league here, I appreciate them showing up every night and putting on a good show. So thanks to everybody in the league and you for broadcasting and all our fans and my mom and dad, my grandparents, my wife and little girl, and we got a little boy on the way in January. So maybe I got an excuse to get a second sim rig now.
Come on. All right, man. Well, congratulations on that on the second child, man, and congratulations on third place finish.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Eddie.
Well, all right. Well, let's give out an award between these drivers. Got to give out to Kyle Roberts, who won the hard charger Kyle Roberts, handmade hard charger award winner, win his own award. Um, but congratulations to him. He moved up 12 spots from where he started. Started 20th and finished 8th. So congratulations to him. Let's go ahead and bring our second place finisher, Garrett Kinder, up into the booth. Garrett, this is Eddie. You got me?
Hey.
Well, man, that was a fun race. Man, you look racy out there. Looked like you was ready to go. You was up there making moves, making passes. Elected for the two-stop strategy. Come up a little bit short, but still looked like a pretty fun race out there. What was it like from your point of view?
Man, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the strategy just didn't play out the way he wanted to. Old Chris Carroll could, I guess, save fuel and go fast. I don't know how he does it, but he's good. So, big shot to him on that strategy call. Got him the W tonight. Real fun. I mean, I was racing around all my teammates all night. It seemed like, I don't think I ever got away from having a teammate either right in front of me or right behind me. So, a lot of fun all night. We were in chat, cutting it up, having fun. Everybody raced pretty clean. Lap cars were struggling, maybe trying to get out of the way or not get out of the way. But it is what it is. It's Nashville Superspeedway. It's a one groove track. You got to kind of make it work where you can.
Yeah, it's always funny. You get up, you catch a group of lap cars, and as soon as you get to them, they start going too wide, it seems like. So on your bid to try to run down Chris Carroll at the end, it definitely had a lot of lap traffic to deal with. But y'all did a great job, put on an exciting race, and man, come home with a second place finish, pretty good. So congratulations, man. And as always, who you got to thank? Sponsor shout outs.
Well, of course, got to thank Kinder Farm and Ranch to be on the hood of this machine. Love having him around. Dad's been, let me see, I think it was my dad texting me. Yes, it was. Dad texted me saying congratulations and all that good stuff. Ratchet Speed Shop, right along the same lines. Love having people that love me and support me, continue to support me throughout this racing stuff. This virtual racing is just, it's a hoot and a half. It's a good time. I got to thank Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers. If you want to keep your stuff hot and keep your stuff cold, cheaper than longer than anybody else, make sure you check out Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers at bigfrig.com. Wolfpack Racing, Ray Page over there, good guy. Love talking to him. He's been busy on the road, but he's been back around the past week or so I've been able to catch up with him a little bit. He's wore out, traveling around with that Xfinity team. So big shout out to him. Of course, got to thank all my teammates over here at Poman Motorsports. Like I said, seemed like I was around them all night. Me and Chris were fighting. Me and Aaron were fighting. Me and Tracy for a short time were fighting. Just a good time. I wouldn't want to race over here with any other group. So big shout out to those guys, along with all my short tracking teammates over at Velocity Motorsports. It's just a good time, man. I think I try and have the most fun of everybody every race, and man, so far I think I've been accomplishing that. I have so much fun doing this stuff. Win, lose, or draw, it's fun. And I gotta thank you up in the booth, man. You've made these broadcasts very enjoyable to watch, even though maybe sometimes the racing action ain't all that jam packed. But man, you make it exciting, you make it fun, and we appreciate you.
All right, man. We'll appreciate that, and congratulations again.
Thanks, sir.
Well, let's bring our winner, Chris Carroll. Well, Chris, is Eddie in the booth? You got me?
I got you, Eddie.
Well, man, did you ever play any? I don't know if you ever played any pool. You ever played snooker?
I played it all. I played a lot of pool, man. I tried everything.
Well, you snookered them tonight, man. Electing for the one-stop race. We saw you drop back, and I made the mistake of thinking, man, is Chris Carroll just having a bad night? Maybe it's a bad track for him, but saving fuel, able to get to lap 51 and make it a one-stop race. It turned out to be the right call, man, and able to take the win tonight. Man, talk about it. Talk about the decision to make that strategy. You seem to be maybe the only one. It looks like Chris Bedwell may have tried to audible to that later, but you seem to be the only one that picked up on that and elected to make that strategy.
Well, I was kind of toying with it at the beginning. I was kind of going easy, thinking, man, maybe I can make it on field. I'll hang out here and see what my field does. And I was hanging out behind those guys, and then I realized it wasn't as short as I thought. And about lap 25, I thought, hell, I'm going for it. So start stepping on the clutch, and I'll be honest, it's kind of a boring race, stepping on the clutch the whole race. It worked out. I tried to get as far as I could into the second run. I think I only made it 51 or 52 or something, but I knew if I did that, I could keep a decent pace the second run. I could pick it up a little bit and run a little bit faster. So I tried that and it worked out. I still thought Mclean might catch me. When he went by me on the new tires early, I was like, whoa, that's like 2 seconds a lap. I might get eaten for dinner here, but I never saw him. And we just tried to do it, man. Just stuck to the strategy, and with a couple wins in the bank, I could go for it. If you hadn't had a win, you gotta finish good and go for it that way. But with those wins in the bank, I could gamble.
Yeah, in this track and this combo between this truck and the track, it seems like after about 5 or 6 laps, maybe 10 laps, clutching, turning the car off, letting the truck ease down to the bottom is the natural way of driving this track. So it really lends itself to some fuel saving. So it's easy to keep the speed up. Is that kind of what you felt the same way?
I had that in the back of my head at the start of the race. I mean, I didn't know how far we could go on fuel. I just looked at it once we were in the race, and I was like, well, we can go 46. Wonder if I could squeeze 4 out of it. And then I was like, man, I don't. 4 is a lot because I saved 1 lap around about 20 laps once at that place. And I mean, you never know because they run different fuel in every league. So, and then I just decided, let's do it. I mean, what do I got to lose if I get a bad finish? I get a bad finish. But it second run, I really learned how to run it. I was really trying to keep the speed down the first run, but the second run I could carry more speed, and I figured out what you were talking about, where you can just kind of roll her to the bottom and keep the speed up and then get back on it on exit. So you're absolutely right about that.
Well, you made it look easy out there. The masterful job. I mean, it's a whole nother skill. It's one skill to be fast, and it's one skill to be able to race clean. It's one skill to be able to go down pit road. It's a whole nother to be able to save fuel and also be fast. That's a hell of a skill to have, and you put it on display tonight, man. Congratulations, Chris. Another win of the season. A very very cool win. I like fuel strategy wins like that. That's just a lot of fun. And a boring race for you though, but a good win as always, man. Who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
Well, I always got to thank Brian Zimmerman, USAFirearms.com. He sit all over my truck. He'll sponsor me for any race I want to get in. It's pretty cool. Got to thank these guys for putting on such a good league. You can't pull a strategy like that if you think it's going to be a caution every 10 laps. So it's a testament to those guys for always running clean out there. It's one of the cleanest leagues you'll ever see. Got to thank Aaron and the guys here for putting on a great league, and you for the broadcast, and all my friends and family out there watching, man.
Well, all right. Well, congratulations again, man. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, sir. Hopefully.
There you have it. Chris Carroll with another win on the season. I think that's 6 or 7 for him tonight or this season. So, but pulled one on him with that strategy, made it look easy, and comes away with the win. Jammed up hard luck award winner. It's hard to say. Everybody had sort of a good race. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Chris Bedwell, who's going to win the Trigger Time Jammed Up Award as he decides to save fuel looks like the last a little bit and came up maybe a lap short of what he needed. End up 11th place, but had a good run, ran up front all race long. Just that strategy just didn't work out for him, so he comes home in 11th. But outside of that, I think that is all of our awards. I think I got everybody. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Apex Sim Racing, all of the folks that support this series, Aaron for putting it on, doing all the work that it takes to make it go around the track. And thank y'all for watching. Always good to have a lot of viewers. When we run Apex, we have the most viewers out of any broadcast that I do. So definitely appreciate y'all watching. Hope y'all enjoy it, and we'll see you next week. Y'all have a good night.